Hello, my name's Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So this is part 3 of my trip to Antiquarium, and if you remember in part 1 I had a technical difficulty where I had lost the photos that I took to make the icon, and I had lost the intro that I did outside. Well, I figured out what went wrong, and for some reason, between taking those and going indoors, my phone decided not to recognise the SD card that was in the phone, and I didn't realise, and I've been recording and recording, but it's been doing it all on internal memory on the phone and not on the SD card, which meant that those bits were still on the SD card. So you will see the icons get updated with my happy smiley face in front of the sign, and also we won't be going straight into the Antique Centre. I will add the introduction so that you can see what it's like outside the Antiquarium and what a cool place it is. So with that said, let's get on with the film. Hello, I'm back in Weedon, but this time I'm at Weedon Bec, at the wrong way Antiquarium, yes, and next door is Vintique. It's all of this you can see down here. If I step forward, this is Georgian barracks. It was supposed to defend England from Napoleonic invasion, and so it's quite a cool place. You can see all of these buildings are all Georgian. It's even got, if I can get it in, it's even got its own canal here down the middle to supply it, with its own gate over there. So yeah, in fact it's got a gate at each end. Can you see down there? So yeah, there's my car. So yeah, it's a really interesting place, regardless of it being an antique centre, or two antique centres. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to get on and have a go around inside. This little cabinet's going to be good. It's got some interesting things in it. I've not seen these before, and it says there by Bayer Crystal. I think that's German. But yeah, they're really unusual. I'm going to try and find those because I've not seen them before ever. So here is the vase we were looking at. I think this is it says it's 45. Is that 450 millimeters? Yeah. Anyway, I think this is the vase we were looking at. They've sold it. They're saying it's 1960s rare. Okay, so I have looked in eBay already, and there are none for sale in the UK. So I'm gonna go with rare. And then I found this one on Etsy. But this one, so these guys don't give a price, it's sold. These ones are selling it, and I know it's Etsy and the prices are all really high, but they want £30 for it. And the thing about this one is it's 3 3/4 inches in diameter. It's tight. You can see it's actually got less blibbies on it. It's absolutely tiny, and they want £30 for it. I think £50 is probably okay. It says it's rare. Someone wants £30 for something that's like a pimple by comparison. The surface area, this is only the surface area is about 1/4 of the surface area of the one we're looking at, because you have to remember things. Once you start adding inches onto, the scale of it gets bigger, and so this is probably like about, the one we were looking at is probably about this big, almost fitting most of the page kind of thing by comparison to this. So yeah, I've never heard of them before, never seen these before, and they are saying I think they said it's rare as well somewhere. I saw, I'm sure they said it was rare. Anyway, I think it is rare because there's none on eBay. and this is the only one that's actually for sale, and it's tiny. This is weird. He's saying it's a stunning antique Waterford blue 1920s. So, to my knowledge, Waterford wasn't running in the 1920s, so, and they didn't do pressed glass either. So unless there's something I don't know, yeah. The bowl, the little vase at the back, that looks like a cedar one. I have tried to see the label around the other side, but I can't see it. And the other bit looks like a bit of Empoli, but I can't really read that from here either. So, yeah, you can see this one here. See, it's cased at the bottom, and it's got this, like, I think it's a cedar, but I might be wrong. So I've done a quick search for Waterford bowls, and yeah, this is not what we were looking at. None of it's pressed. 1920s just is not right. So I thought, double check that it's not right. Okay. In your brain it's not right. In reality it might be. So I thought, Wikipedia. So here we are. Now, the original Waterford Glassworks closed in 1851. So it was open from 1783 to 1851. Okay. And then it started glassmaking again in 1947. I thought it was 1950, but 1947 it is. So they weren't making any glass in 1920s. And even then, they're all talking about cut glass, not pressed glass, which was what that bowl was. So, yeah, it's just that label's just wrong. Maybe meant to write something else. I don't know. I've looked through all the 20th century glass. I can't find that bowl. I've looked at literally every bowl in 20th century glass. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've not seen it before. So it's whatever it is, it's not a common design. That's all I can say. Shelf down. He says these are all Japanese. I know this one is Tajima, but he just says Japanese. And then, so they're sort of like some of the Whitefriars looky-likeys. He says this is Tajima as well, and he says this is Japanese. So I'm going to try and find those. They're interesting. And then round the back, it's got this rather nice blue jug. It's got an ice catcher at the top. I don't recognise that. And there's so many tall jugs. My chances of finding it are almost null. But it is, for what it is, it's a very good one. And it's got all 6 glasses. Looking at the 20th Century Glass website, there were 3 Japanese vases at the beginning of that video. And I'm going to show you how good this website is, okay, for finding this kind of thing. So this is the first vase that we were looking at, the one on the left, the knobbly one. Yeah, it's nice and weird. And Norcrest, Japan, made by Tajima Glass. He's got a reference here. I haven't clicked that yet, but yeah, he's showing you some close-ups. Let's click it. Let's just see. Let's see where it goes. Some of these don't work anymore. Yeah. I don't know if this is blah, 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 blah. Not sure that's a fantastic reference, but if he thinks it's good enough. Anyway, let's move on. And yeah, I have an account on here, which is very old. Just so you, yeah, I used to load things in here, like 237 things. Last time I loaded something in here was like years ago. So anyway, moving on. The next one, this one here, this including Fuji orangey with red stripe made. Several manufacturers made glass in this style, including Fukuo, Toshu, Glasgow, Tajima, and Hokuyu. Now, if you go through the 20th century glass website, you'll see there's different shapes and there's different colours as well. So, yeah, this is this kind of like broad white stripe. So there's like yellow ones and blue ones and different shapes as well. But this is an exact match for the one we're looking for. No dates though. But he's clearly saying it's Japanese, and he's saying they've got labels. So labels is the winner. And then we've got this one, which is Tajima. And I've seen the references for this as well. I think it's a bit better, but yeah, there you go. That's everybody acknowledges that these are Tajima. Hexagonal. The pattern is it's a bit like little short worms. Can you see what I mean? It's not like Whitefriars bark at all when you look at it closely. It is cased though, but when you hang on, let's go back in, look at the bottom, you can see it's pressed. It's not blown into a mold and then taken out, put on a pontle, so there's no pontle on the base. This is an entirely pressed glass thing. How they do that with clear and cased, I don't know, but they clearly can. So anyway, there you go. So this is a very interesting shelf because, yes, so he's saying these are Italian vintage Italian Murano glass. These are not Murano. They've got the word Murano on them. This one is a bit more clear in that it says it's got the full label on it that tells you made in the style of the masters of Murano, and hence the word Murano in big, but it's in Italian. The spiral thing at the back, that is Chinese. So that's, I think they're made by High Top Crystal, but I'm not, people are saying they're not, but I don't know. I can find them on High Top Crystal's website, and they say they make glass, so don't know. And then this says it's Murano, but this is actually Romanian, from the 70s, I think. There were 4 things on that bottom shelf. First was at the back there was a pair of blue crackled glass vases. The way the top edge of those was polished off makes me think that they're probably Czech. They do a lot of things like that. They finish them like that, and glasses as well. They finish their glasses at the cut edge, and also their decanters. So I think they're Czech. I'm not definite. They also do a lot of crackle glass as well. So that's another, most probably Czech. So the next thing that we were looking at, there was in front of those were 2 pale vases with like frilly edges on them. One was pale green and one was white, and the one at the back had a label on. I've been looking for a label with the same writing on it that said this. Okay, and yeah, so I've got a translation of that because they said Murano. This looks, you think, oh, Murano made in Italy, but, and I think I've shown you this before. If you do a translation, de vetro esquego secondo la tecnica di maestri di Murano, it says glass made according to the technique of the Murano masters. It is made in Italy, but it's not made in Murano. Okay, it's a slightly deceptive label by putting the bit that says it's a bit like Murano in Italian at the beginning. Yeah, not cool, but that's what it is. It is Italian, but not made in Murano. And I've seen different, nobody's quite sure where they're made, or I've heard different stories about where exactly they're made. But anyway, that's that. Next, was the ashtray, with the three holes in it. It's actually, that said Murano as well, but it's actually Romanian. And yeah, it's probably from the 60s and 70s. This is from the 20th Century Glass website. There's slightly different styles, and yeah, and different colorways. So that was a slightly different colorway to this, and some of them are labelled as made in Romania, which was the pre. I've seen them as Romanian with just a U, not an O at all, but pre-1975. So yeah, it's a nice vintage piece then. And yeah, like the fish and other bits and pieces come from Romania, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just that everybody wants to label it as Murano. And then the next thing, at the back, there's like a curly-whirly piece of glass on a little glass plinth. So that's Chinese. It's made by High Top Crystal Crafts Co Limited. Someone said they weren't made by them, but in actual here they're telling you they are a professional trophy and awards manufacturer, 15 years, blah blah blah. They make all these things, and it's their selling point is they make these things and they will do the engraving for you as well. So it's a one-stop shop. You get your items quickly. Now, if we go to, there's like piles of stuff that they do, and there's a couple of thousand people work there. So yeah, it's a big concern. But yeah, curly whirly, there it is there, different color, but that is the one. Ta-da. And online inquiry, email us, blah blah blah. These are for sale in Alibaba as well. I can't remember, I think they're something like about, if I remember rightly, it was something like $13, but you had to buy a minimum of 15. And you see a lot of the stuff that you see around that's labelled as Murano here, like these teardrop things. Yeah, you see a lot of those. If it's a teardrop like that, then it's not Murano at all. It's High Top Crystal Crafts Company. Yeah, they make. If I go back a page, in fact, just go to here. You can see they've got all these different shapes that they do, and then there's like another page worth, more shapes, and then yeah, and some of them are kind of like a bit vase-like, but the same. So yeah, they've obviously got their own little glass blowing facility as part of all of their stuff. They're making all sorts of things, and a bit of metalwork as well in there. So piano finish plaques. What's a piano finish plaque? Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so that's what's on that bottom shelf. Since I recorded the bit that I recorded on High Top Crystal Crafts, saying they're a manufacturer, going through the pictures, somewhere in all this, in this website, there is a picture. They definitely do glass cutting, but there's been some debate on Facebook about where these are made. You know, the actual curly whirlies. I think High Top Crystal is probably making the bases, because I know that they've got flat polishing stuff, and a lot of their stuff is flat polished stuff. But I've been told that the glass, the sculpture parts of these might be made in Chengdu. So I'm going to try and find out where these sculptures are made, who's making them, and if I do find out, I will make a video just about this style of Chinese sculpture. The Chinese glass makers know how to make a statement piece. These are all huge. Look at that. There's my hand down the bottom. If I can pull back far enough. Look at that. Yeah, they're all huge. Yeah, I don't know how much money they've got on them. Vintage art glass, 130. That seems a lot. But yeah, they are really big pieces. This is nice. I've not seen this before. I know it's Medina. Is it signed? Or is it Medina? It says something Goa. Doesn't look like it actually says Medina. Oh, sorry, I'm holding it wrong. And now I can't get it into the light the right way. But it says something Goa. Which, because it looks like a Medina piece, but it's not as heavy. It's more translucent than the normal Medina pieces. So I don't know why my dyslexic brain kept saying Goa, because that's in India. I meant Gozo, which is part of Malta. It's an island. So yeah, this is the glass that I can find that's the closest. There's none that's exactly like what we were looking at. This is probably texture-wise, although this has got looped, it's similar. It seems like Gozo is a lot more experimental in the look and feel of their glass. I did a few searches, and yeah, I mean, you're looking at these patterns and they're all over the place. I mean, there's some there that's the same, but when you're looking between the little sections, they're all very different colorways, different patterns. Some of the shapes are similar, like this, but yeah, they are a bit all over the place pattern wise. And now let me show you why. I mean, that's probably, that's no good. Let me show you. Yeah, this is the glass that I was thinking of. So this is Medina glass with this brown lines in it. See, there's one that's silverish. There's another one. Look at this. Yeah, so you can see the look I was thinking of. There's another one there. It's sort of like cream with brown lines going through it. So that's Medina. That's one of their patterns that you see quite often. It's closer. That's that one. There's another one. See, that's probably not quite as translucent as the one we're looking at. Neither is, but you can see what I mean. It's a bit more, the colour's a bit more solid than what we were looking at. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was clearly marked, and it definitely didn't say Medina. So yeah, I don't see much. Mataf is the other Maltese glass I see more of. Medina is the biggest one and the most common, though. So yeah, we were clearly in an antique centre because look at this. It says it's £26, but in actual fact, this is quite a big seahorse. So yeah, large seahorse. There you go. It is quite a bit chunkier, and the signature is definitely different from this piece up here. So yeah, he says Medina, but I don't think. And then we've got, look at this, lovely with the Kripska label. He's saying this is, but it says borrow something. So I'm not sure this is Kripska. It says borrow something. Czechoslovakia. So I'm going to try and find that. So I have some bad news. The place I was hoping to look was the Czech Glass Guide. Only you used to be able to see some of it, and then some of it wasn't downloadable and stuff like that. And but it now seems like the whole thing is behind a paywall. It would cost you €20 per annum to see it. Yeah, I could hack my way in, but that's naughty. So I won't do that. And I have looked at other. Look, I looked at Glass Musterbusch, but they don't actually have that many labels. Not the right period anyway. Yeah, I was looking at how much 20 euros was. I've looked at labels. There is some in 20th century glass, but they don't have that one. 20th century glass also has piles of labels in it. If you're ever looking, if you see a label where you're going, I can see part of the label, but I can't see all of it. Yeah, look at this. You can sort of like try and just get the shape or the color or whatever it is just by scrolling through all of this. There's loads and loads and loads of it. So just little tip there. Yeah, I've tried really hard to find it and I just can't find it. So is what it is. Across the shelf a bit, I was thinking, ooh, this looks like Bertel Valen's wife, and yeah, he knows it too. He wants £60 for it. Rika Hyde signed bowl, £60. Damn it. Oh yeah, you can see it's got Boda written on the bikes there, can you see? Yeah. Oh well, you got a cedar bud vase back here. Another one. It's got the remains of it. I think this just says something like Swedish art glass or something like that. Then you've got, this is Franz Wahl. Splatter vase, I think. So yeah, and then you've got, I think this is a Murano bowl, I think. I'm not seeing it with this cutting though, so it might not be. So the little bowl I was looking at there, I thought it might be this lady, Ulrika Heidemann Valen. There we go. From Costa Boda. And she's Bertel Valen's wife, yeah. Now, I'm looking at her stuff and I'm thinking, it doesn't look quite as wacky as some of her stuff. Her stuff is a little bit more crazed. There's some features about it that are the same, like you see these two little, can you see the two little dashes? I can make it, no. See the two little dashes on either side of the heart? Those were on the bowl. The tulip, and then the tulip with the can you see it's got like shading? Some of the tulips had shading on the side, like these ones here, and then you see some like snakes. This has got like a wonky, so, and I did actually do a search. Is it this one? No, it's this one. Here we go. And you can see, look, there's one that's like kind of like a wiggly tulip, but it's in black with double streaks. You can see her stuff has a look about it. It's very crazed. That looked a bit washed out, to be honest. I know there's fakes. I'm not an expert on her stuff enough. I'm just looking at these and going, her stuff is generally very boldly painted, and these are not so strongly painted. But I do know, if I go back to here, if you look at, scroll back up, this one here is a bit washed out, and they're doing it money off. See, compared to that one. See what I mean? So maybe that happened. I don't know. Yeah, she's definitely not quite right though, some of her stuff. But that's what she's doing, so, or was doing, because she's not alive anymore. But yeah, it does have a very strong look about it. And then the next thing I was looking at was the Franz Wahl's little bowl with legs coming off it. So this is acrylicglass.com. I don't use this site much, but it is a very good site if you're looking at loads and acrylic and well, some of these sort of like Art Nouveau, Art Deco type glasses from Czech Republic, this is a very good site, because he has like, so this is the little Welsh sections. So if you go, he's got a decor index, so different color types that he's got, and then he's got alphabetical, yeah, and then he's got shapes. And the one I went for was, I wonder if it was in squat bowl. No, that's no good. Go back. Covered. I went for it. Covered. And so none of these have a little metal rose bowl wire top like we had. But you look at something like this, and look at these legs. This is just like the bowl that we were looking at, and there's another one here. So I knew that this is why I said Franz Wahl, because I knew this is a feature that they do with this sort of little tripod legs with this little staves to hold it up. There's another one. So I still think it's Franz Wahl with the, I can't find the exact colorway, but the shape is very like this, but with a metal top on. So I think it is Franz Wahl. Might be wrong, of course, because I've read his research that he's done in here. He's talking about there's no proper guides and stuff like that for it, and he's tried to work it out by correlating lots of pieces together. Anyway, I think it's Franz Wahl, and we'll go with that. And then, oh yeah, there was one other thing that we were looking at, which was that geode in the corner with the facet cut in it. So it's a Somerset geode with facets cut in it. I've gone through the geodes, can't find it in there. This is the 20th Century Glass website. He's got 857 items listed as Somerset, and I've looked through all of them and I can't find it. So yeah, it looked really good quality, and the faceting looked really nice. It looked very nicely done. So yeah, and the colorway is in here as well, though. So the sort of like that purple and blue color is in here. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. So this is part 3. There will definitely be a couple of more parts, maybe even 3. Yeah, there's just so much stuff to figure out doing this. That's why I'm being a bit slow at the moment. I did make a promise about the high top crystal thing, and I'm going to try and follow through on that. It may take a while, but I have my contacts, and I may be able to sort this out and get an answer to this one. So yeah, I'm talking too quietly. I shouldn't be doing that. I'm on YouTube, remember, and just don't whisper to the thing. Anyway, with that said, all the references that I use will be in the links in the description below. Also, the contact details for the Antiquarium will be in the description below. And please remember to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a really good evening. Good night.